Hey friend, this is a simple reminder that sometimes the most impactful thing that you can do is just to listen. We're bombarded by information, ideas, beliefs, and desires from all corners trying to get us to react to certain things constantly. There are deep conflicts going on in the world and here at home, wherever it is that we live, and they're not going to stop. This is a reality that we're going to have to be in for some time, so we need to learn how to listen. Ordinarily, when we think of listening, we don't generally think that that's what's going to help us in order to how to respond to things. However, making space to listen makes it possible to show up and participate in what is happening, and therefore your actions have impact. Obviously, nobody wants to struggle and suffer through life, and when we see someone who is, we tend to want to solve it or fix it because not only do we want them not to be in discomfort, but it causes us discomfort as well to see it. And part of learning to listen means we have to step back from this desire to fix, to solve, or to be right. And that is a really challenging thing to do. And also, we're not generally encouraged to do that. We're generally encouraged to pick a side on something. So the other part of listening is that we have to acknowledge and then put down the ways that we're categorizing the things we are seeing. Now, that is not saying look at information and don't see whether or not it's accurate, because that is a necessary and important part of listening. You might hear someone tell you a story about something and then believe them, and you might ask questions to try to understand what happened, because what you're trying to do is understand, is this accurate? Is the information accurate? That doesn't mean anything about whether or not you should or shouldn't respond to something. It just means you're listening, and by listening, you participate in the process of what is actually unfolding, rather than take a stance from outside or make comments about or give your opinions on. We're operating in a very different way, and that has a real impact. And although social media is trying to always convince us that you have to have X amount of followers and influence this and that, the reality is we all have a sphere of influence, and that is our personal relationships. Our personal relationships extend beyond the people we know because they know people. So it's a very real consequence of the things we do, think, and say, how people's lives are impacted. And by listening, we are able to show up and respond and participate in things in a way where our impact could be positive or negative. It really depends on where we're coming from and how sincere, compassionate, and patient we are in our process. So this is just an encouragement. Rather than try to react and respond to everything that you see, rather than try to get caught up in the noise of people's opinions and beliefs and ideas about things, take a step back and listen and see if you can cultivate this practice of discernment so that when you do choose to act, it comes from a place of curiosity, participation, and collaboration.